Hello, welcome to my binder review. For those of you who don't know, anyone new to my channel, probably not a lot, I am trans, and I wanted to do a binder review real quick before the video starts. Just a couple things I want to say. I'll put a timestamp to here, wherever. But just disclaimer, real quick. Number one, I'm not going to be filming this all on the same day. You're going to see me wearing like different things because I'm going to be doing this different days. Because I got a lot of binders to review. I wanted to like do as like big of a review as I could, like get as many like different brands as I could, just to try and like find like what works best for who. And I was actually very surprised by the results. Like I was not expecting the results that I got, and I'll tell you why later. Shocking. That's enough of me just talking. Let's get on with what you wanted to see, the binder review. Back to what I was originally doing. So we're going to start with the binders that I had already. Before I started doing this, I was using GC2B. And GC2B, actually that's what inspired me to do this video, was a lot of people started saying that GC2B has gone downhill a lot, and like their products have been getting worse. And I wanted to test that and also test against other brands to see if it is true, like what other brands are like better at that point. And they were correct. GC2B has definitely gone downhill a lot. Back when I first started wearing GC2B binders, they were very flexible, very comfortable, very breathable binder. They were a really good binder. And then I did this test, and I started wearing these binders again. And I will say, there was a little bit of a period, like a break period, where I wasn't wearing binders before I started doing this. Just because I'd been having so many like 8-hour shifts and all that, like, so I did get like sort of a fresh look at this, and I was very disappointed. I couldn't make it through the whole day in this. I did make it, I will say, I did make it somewhat through the day. I made it a few hours. I took this off about 3.5 hours in, because it started to cause too much pain in my ribs and become very uncomfortable, and it was starting to get like, it was difficult. Like, I could breathe in it, but it was like sort of an effort to do so. Like, it was sort of, I was sort of like, it was a very like, I can tell that I'm breathing type of breathing. I don't know if you know what I mean by that. Like, like when someone tells you you're breathing and then you like have to focus on it and like focus on like breathing to actually do it. That's sort of what it felt like the entire time I was wearing this. Like, it felt like manual breathing. And I was not a fan. So yeah, they've definitely gone downhill. They're a lot less flexible. Like I said, they were very flexible when I started wearing them. I put this on and immediately I could tell like, oh, that's not very flexible. Like that's kind of hard. It sucks because I liked having a good binder that was like worked really well for me, but now they don't work for me anymore, and that sort of sucks. And again, I'm still using the correct sizing on their sizing chart. I am currently a medium. This is a medium, and it did not fit me. Like, it fit me, but it didn't. It started to hurt after a while, and it was hard to breathe in sometimes, so that sucked. Another thing I will state with this video, in this video there's going to be some opinions that are not everybody's opinions. There are some things about binders that like certain people like differently. One preference that I have, or a couple preferences I have is, I swim a lot. I live on a lake, so I swim a lot, and having a binder that I can swim in is kind of like something that I would prefer. If I can get one, I would like that. That's another thing that I liked about GC2B, was that I could swim in it. Again, GC2B has gone very downhill, and I can't do that anymore. And then also, I personally prefer a tank binder, like a full tank. A lot of binder companies don't provide a full tank. They only have half tanks, and then there's some that have half and full tanks. Any that have half and full tanks, I tried to get a full tank on because I prefer it to a half tank, and this is my opinion. Other people will have different opinions. Me personally, I think that a half tank is easier, if I'm not covering it up, is easier for someone else to believe is a sports bra rather than anything else. It's just a very easy assumption to make for most people who don't know anything about this sort of stuff, which kind of makes me slightly dysphoric. And also, I do like to wear my binders kind of openly. One of the types of styles that I like to wear a lot is a binder, and then an overshirt, but an open overshirt. I'll show you. So something sort of like this, where it's kind of open. This is a style that you might find me frequently wearing in the summer. It's just an open button down with a binder under it. But I don't tend to do that with half tank binders because, again, people who don't know what a binder is are more likely to see it as just a sports bra, which is somewhat dysphoric to me. But this, it's sort of easy to just tell it's oh, it's a tank top, you know? But it also binds, so it looks a little more masculine. So yeah, something like that. But like I said, this binder kind of sucks. It's very how did I rank it? I ranked them too. I gave them a comfort level, and like I said, I did homework. I studied for this, so you better be proud of me. I studied for you. So that because I wanted to make just the most inclusive binder review that I could, get more than just oh, this binder's really good, this binder's kind of good as well. don't bind with this. All right, bye. Like, I wanted to make like a big review because there's a lot of binder brands out there now. I found just as many as I could, and I got them and I tested them. This, I gave it like a 3 on a comfort level. Like, it's okay for a while. Like, if you're just gonna use it to like, if you're not gonna be out very long, I guess it's all right, but it's not, this is something that I might only use for like cosplay if I were to ever use it again. Like, that's the amount of time that I'd probably be able to wear this and feel comfortable enough to wear it. But if I was like going out to like go hang out or do something, I wouldn't wear this. All right, next is a binder that I've seen a lot of like ads for around, the ForThem binder. This has been advertised like everywhere, and they're always like, it's very like flexible and great and whatever. I'm gonna start out with, this binder has a very weird way of sizing. The thing about this, like their sizing chart, is it's like the Starbucks of sizing. They didn't use just like small, extra small, like medium, large. They used like a bunch of weird words. I think the one that I got was called balance. And to figure out which one of these weird words you are, you take this like test. They like test you. Which was, I don't know, that was so weird. They didn't have like a chart that just said, oh, this one is like, what are these measurements? Okay, like this is your size. Like, no, it was like, hey, take the quiz, and then you like answer the questions one by one in a quiz, and then they're like, we recommend balance. And it's like, that's so, why didn't you just go with small, medium, and junk? Like, I don't understand that. Furthermore, this binder sucks. This binder is advertised everywhere, and it's bad. It's bad. This binder is one of the ones that I could not wear. One of the many that I could not wear. This sucked. It was like hard to, I couldn't really breathe in it. This was not very flexible. Like, it was flexible to an extent, but it wasn't very flexible. It also didn't bind at all. It was basically a glorified sports bra that just hurt. Like, this did not do anything. It sucked, and I could not breathe in it very well, and it hurt. This, I did not wear this anywhere. I put it on, realized how bad it sucked, and took it off. Don't get this binder. Don't do it. Just don't. Like I said, I used their recommended sizing. Like, they had me do a quiz and everything. I used all the recommended sizing. That binder sucks. Do not get that binder. ForThem is not good. It's really not good. Hey, Kirby, you want to be in a video? Come here. Ugh, my cat is here. Say hello. Say hello. Alrighty, let's get into the dreaded Amazon binders. Hey. Now, first of all, like I said, I got 2, or well, technically I got 3, but one of the 3 was too big, and like I said, on Amazon, I didn't check the sizing on Amazon. I just went with medium because I'm used to clicking medium on everything. So I That one I disqualified because I was like, that one's obviously too large for me. I think I got the wrong size on that one. on with the ones that I'm actually using. This one is a pretty common one to see on Amazon. It's got these clips on the side. You clip it up the side, and it goes on and it binds. It binds, but it was not flexible at all. This one was not flexible at all, and it hurt, it sucked, it was bad. I couldn't breathe in it because it wasn't flexible at all. So I couldn't like stretch my lungs to breathe. So yeah, that's I did not wear this one for more than a few minutes before I took it off because I couldn't breathe. It wasn't flexible in the slightest, and it sucked. It sucked just as much as I remember these binders sucking back when I had them in like high school when I first got my first binder, and it was one of these. It was white instead of black, but it was one of these, and it sucked that much too. And I was so happy when I got my GC2B, and GC2B also sucks now. So that's, wow, wonderful. Now I want to talk about the second binder that I got off of Amazon. I got this binder off of Amazon, which is from a different brand. It was a half tank. They didn't have full tank. Which, like I said, I do prefer a full tank. However, even with it being half tank, this one currently is winning, which is surprising, all things considered, that this is the current winner. Like I said, there's more binders that are coming. I think there's like at least 3 that I ordered that are still in transit, still on their way to me. And like I said, there are 2 that have not restocked my size yet. But currently I have 10. There's like 5 more that I'm going to get. This one is currently winning. And that's shocking because it's an Amazon binder. I got it off of a brand off of Amazon called LGBT Unicorns. And it's got clips on the sides as well, but it's on both sides. I don't know if you can see that. The clips on the sides, so you can adjust it. It binds, and it's flexible. It's definitely flexible, breathable. It's very nice. The only problem that I had with this one was that if I like sat and slouched, like this spit at the bottom would kind of like dig into my stomach a little bit, but that's because I personally slouch a lot when I sit, which is partially due to like how I look when I'm not wearing a binder. I slouch a lot more, so I'm used to slouching more. But if I were to like sit up straight more often, this would be like great. This binder works well. Like I said, I prefer a full tank, but I would take this. If this is the only good binder that I find, I will be keeping it, and I will take it. And before you worry, I'm not just throwing all of these binders away. All right. Any of these that are like really bad, like they start like breaking or something, I'm gonna probably just use like the scrap fabrics for crafts of some kind. Any that are usable, just on like not my size, I'm gonna try and donate. Future me, cut that out. Oh my god, I can edit now. That's so wild. Anyway, this binder is pretty good, all things considered. Like I said, it worked well. I didn't feel any discomfort in it. This has gotten me through an entire shift at work, and I was totally fine in it. It worked well. I could breathe well. Like, I don't have much issue with this, which is surprising, again, because this is an Amazon binder. And it was cheap, too. I will say, like, I wrote down the prices for all of these, and this is also one of the cheapest. This was $20 on Amazon at LGBT Unicorns. And yeah, $20 for this binder that worked really well. Meanwhile, like, ForThem, the ForThem binder was $50, and it was garbage. Some of these binders are, like, pretty expensive. I'd say the cheapest ones that I got were off of Amazon, because the Amazon binders were both $20. I guess Underworks as well was $20. Anything else was higher than that. I think, like, most of the binders were anywhere between, like, $30 and $50, which is kind of a lot. Kind of a lot of money. Drink break. But a lot of these after this are binders that were recommended by other people, like others that I've been seeing, like, recommended around. So I wanted to test those as well, because I know, like, I was like, okay, like, I want to see I want to see people's recommendation I can't talk. Cut that out, editor. I wanted to see recommendations from people and, like, see, like, if they were actually good recommendations, and, like, test them myself, just because I personally wanted to know. And also, if it's being recommended, it'd be nice to tell people, like, yeah, that's a good brand to recommend, or, like, oh, that brand kind of wasn't that great. Moving on, the next binder that I have is this Fytist. Fytist spelled with a Y. I put this on, and I couldn't breathe. It was very tight. It was not, you can see already, that's not flexible in the slightest. Not in the slightest. And again, I was using the recommended sizing chart on their site, said to get a small for me. Like, I measured myself, and I did. I re-measured myself before ordering all of these. Like, I re-measured myself to make sure that I was the size I thought I was. And it said for me, like, that was a small. I got a small. It doesn't fit me at all. I can't breathe in it. It's bad. It's not flexible. This sucks. And it was recommended a lot. And I don't know why it was recommended so much. Because it sucks. Anyway. Next we have Wivov, which this originally was a different brand that I was looking up. Yumi See Me, which I went on their website and I tried to order a binder, and they said that I couldn't order from their site. I had to be redirected to a different site, which was this Wivov brand, because they were, like, rebranding. And none of their full tank binders were on this new site, so that's a downside. The bigger downside, however, both when putting this on and when taking it off, I heard a snapping noise like it was breaking. This broke. And I'm not very big. I am a small guy. I'm sure you can tell that. And again, I used the recommended, for the rest of these, I used the recommended sizing chart on their site. I used the size that I was. And this broke. Both while I was putting it on and while I was taking it off. Something very clearly broke. And that is not good. That is extremely bad. Even the binders that like I didn't wear and couldn't breathe very well in, I gave a 1 to make it like a 1 through 10 scale. Like 1 is the worst, 10 is the best. This gets a 0. This is broken. This is garbage. Something snapped. Both times. I was putting it on and something snapped. And I was like, ooh, that's not good. So after I put it on, I took it off and something snapped again. And I was like, ooh, that's really not good. That's bad. This is garbage. This is very much garbage. I would not recommend this to my enemies. This is garbage. Quick side note to the people recommending Fytist binders. I do see the some of you. I see some of you who are recommending like Fytist is good, just get a size up. I will say, like, I used the recommended size on their site. There have been people who said get a size up from what you're recommended on Fytist. So if I was harsh on that one, if it seemed like I was harsh on that one, don't listen to it, the as harsh stuff. You could try a size up and it might be okay. Like, if that works for you, that works for you. That's not one of the ones that was like really bad, but it was like I personally couldn't breathe in it in my recommended size, which it does lose points for the fact that you can't get the size you're recommended. If they're recommending the wrong size, that's also not good. If they're recommending the wrong size to people, that's bad. That's a bad thing to be doing. Alright, the next binder that I have is from Transguysupply. And this was not one that I saw recommended. This is one that I found while I was searching for other brands. I found this one, popped up, and I decided I'll get one of theirs as well. I got a small in this because it said that I was size small. I put this on, and immediately I noticed that anything under the binding, hard binding part was loose. Very loose, and that was somewhat uncomfortable already. The binding part, it's not very flexible, and it doesn't bind. It doesn't bind my chest. It doesn't. And before you say, well, you got the wrong size, that's a size too big, this was the recommended size for me on their sizing chart. And this was a small. Not great. Not great. I'd give it a 2. I'd give it a 2. Not as bad as all the ones that I couldn't breathe in, but not better than GZ2B even. It's 2. When I was first looking into binders, and this was back when I was in high school. I think I started looking for my first binder sometime in 10th grade, maybe late 9th grade, early 10th grade. That was a while ago. I'm 20 now. I'm 20. I'm old. But I mentioned one of the binder brands that was very recommended back when I was first searching for binders was Underworks. Underworks. This is Underworks. I got a full tank because I prefer a full tank personally. I like it. This one I did not wear for a full day. Not even because of any sort of like, oh, if I wore that for a full day, I probably wouldn't be able to breathe. It is flexible, not very much, but it is like, does have some flex to it. And I probably could wear it for a few hours. It doesn't really bind very well for me. The worst part about this, though, is not any of that. Personally, this has a horrible texture to it. This, like, I could breathe in it. I could probably wear it for a while and be fine. This, like, texture, this is like oh, I hate touching it. It's like wearing a canvas. It's this weird mesh canvasy texture that I just sort of hate having to touch and having rubbed on me. This being on me, I put this on and I immediately took it off, not because of any sort of breathing issue, but specifically because this texture is awful. For me personally, oh, I bumped the mic, sorry. For me personally, I have ADHD, in case you couldn't tell from my horrible ramblings. Me personally, I hate this texture. This texture is awful. Awful texture, awful to touch, awful to feel. Don't want it on me. Definitely don't want it on me. And again, this is one of those ones that, like, this might work for you. This could probably work for you. Like, it is breathable enough that I could see myself, if it wasn't such a bad texture, wearing it for a few hours at least. Like, I could see myself wearing this for, you know, an amount of time, if it weren't for the fact that I hate the texture. Bad to touch. I'm going to be getting rid of it. I'm going to be donating it. I hate that texture. The next binder is TomboyX. And this is, again, one of those ones that I see advertised sometimes. I've seen this one recommended and advertised. And I could not physically get this onto my body. This is on par with the Wivov one that broke. This, I could not even get it onto my body physically. This isn't even I couldn't breathe in it, or it wasn't very flexible. This was I could not even get into the thing to wear it at all. I could physically not put this on. That is how tight this was. And let me remind you, yet again, for the probably 100th time, that I used the recommended sizing chart on their site. And this could not get onto my body at all. This could not stretch enough to get over my body and get on. Like, I could not get this on me. It's awful. I hate that they're advertising something that you buy it and then you can't even wear it. You can't even get this over you. If you use the size that they recommend on their site for you, you cannot wear this. You can't get it on. That's so stupid. This gets a 0. This is nothing. Like, 0. 0 for TomboyX. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Hydrate. It's not actually hydration. It's Mountain Dew Livewire. But the last one I want to talk about for today is Untag. And Untag had a lot of good qualities about it. This was a good binder. It felt pretty good to wear, and I wore this through a whole day. Again, this one came very close to outdoing that Amazon binder, because this one, and it's a full tank. It's very nice. I got the full tank. I got on. It felt good. I could breathe in it. Flexible. It binds well. The only issue I'd say I had with it was it did dig a little bit into the underarms. Like the underarms were kind of like tight around there. But if I was distracted, I didn't really notice it. It was more when I had nothing to do and I was focusing on it that I'd feel it sometimes, kind of digging in a little bit to my underarms. But other than that, it was it seemed like a very, very good binder. And I was ready to give this one a go, a heads up, a thumbs up, yeah, it's great, get it. Until I got home and tried to take it off. And taking this off was extremely difficult. A lot more difficult than getting it on. Taking this off was very difficult. It took me 5 whole minutes to get this off. And I honestly considered calling for help or just cutting it off, because I was struggling so much to get it off. I did manage to eventually get it off of me on my own, and I got it off, and I was like, well, damn, that one does not pass. Oh, it came so close to being right there with that LGBT unicorns binder that actually worked, and then it wasn't. I can't recommend this because I could not take it off. It was so difficult to get this off that I wouldn't recommend putting it on because of the fact that it's so difficult to get off. I would not wear it again because now I know it is so difficult to get off. And that sucks. And it's very shocking that as of currently, the only binder that I can personally recommend is an Amazon binder. I was not expecting that, for one thing. And for another thing, I was not expecting this many binders to be bad. I was not expecting that I could only wear about 3 of them for any amount of time. And I was definitely not, I was not expecting so many binders to be I can't breathe in them. I was expecting a lot better of binders. I was expecting to be this one gets a 10 out of 10 because it's great, and it had the option of being a swim binder, and also I personally like this about it, and then being this one gets an 8 because it's really great, but I would have preferred if the brand had a full tank or whatever. I went into this sort of experiment almost, expecting to find a lot of good I was expecting the clip Amazon binder to definitely be bad. That one I was expecting. I was expecting GC2B to be not as good as it was, because that's what everyone had been saying, was that their quality was going downhill. I was also expecting other binder brands to be better, though. I was expecting there to be a lot more good binders than bad binders. But the bad outweighs the good heavily, like heavily outweighs it. Like, so many of these just sucked. And it's disappointing. But like I said, there's 5 more, so skip ahead to the next one. Me editing. All right, hello. New day, new soda, new me. That's so funny. I'm so clever. New shirt. It says you're almost as valuable as a toaster. All right, back to the review that I'm doing, because I'm doing a review. And I said that I would do more. This is one video. All right. Some more came. So, next one that I'm reviewing is the Paxsies binder. And this is another one that I could not wear. I feel like I'm a broken record saying that about all these. I could not wear it, could not breathe, could not good. Not good. Why are they not good? All right. Opposite end of the spectrum. This one's Wonababi. This one is very flexible. It's also too big. And I got the size they recommended, and it doesn't bind at all. It's flexible, but it doesn't bind. It's basically a tank top. Not a binder. Doesn't bind. Doesn't do anything. Next up we have, this one is from Tomscout. You'll notice it has the clips on the side, much like the Amazon one. That is the only thing it has in common with the Amazon one. This one is it's flexible, but it also binds. So it does both. It's a good binder. I wore it for 6 hours today at work. I worked a 4-hour shift, and I an hour before, an hour after. So I wore it for 6 hours, and it did not get uncomfortable at all. This gets like a 9 on the comfort scale. This is the most comfortable one yet. This is the best one yet. I finally found one that beats that like LGBT unicorn one. And it's Tomscout. I recommend it highly. The only downside is they do not have a full tank option, which sucks because I really like full tanks. But other than that, it's perfect. It's great. I love it. I'm keeping it. Sorry, this part of the video was kind of short. I have there's 2 more binders that I need to order, but they need to restock before I can order them. And they're taking forever to restock. It's been like a month and they still haven't restocked. I'm just waiting, checking in every now and then, hoping they restock soon. Oh, soon, hopefully. We'll see. Hey, guess who's back? It's the same video. For you guys, it's been an instant. For me, it's been like months. The last 2 binders took a very long time to, first of all, restock and then to get to me. Also, it's June now. I'll probably be uploading this in June, so happy Pride. Stay safe. But yeah, so it's also very hot in here. I turned my fan down to the lowest setting, so hopefully that's not interfering with the audio too much. Anyway, back to the review. Right, so this one was the Flavnt binder. But this is the Flavnt binder. I got white because the black one was already sold out again as soon as they restocked it, and I had money. It started out good. Like, I thought it was gonna be another one that would be good throughout the whole day. It did not last, sadly. This one, it started out, it was good until about halfway through. I wore it for 6 hours. Yeah, I wore, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. Oh, let me just, But yeah, I wore this for 6 hours. About halfway through, it started to get somewhat uncomfortable, and that kind of just kept going until I took it off, which sucked. that got uncomfortable kind of quick. Much like GZ2B got uncomfortable like partway through. It didn't get uncomfortable to a point where I had to take it off, but it did get like, it wasn't very comfortable after a while. Wearable, but on the lower ranking still. And lastly, we have Spectrum. This was Spectrum. I had high hopes for this one because it's really like highly reviewed. It was very, very highly reviewed, and I had very high expectations for it because it seemed like one that was going to be very good, very like versatile. Like I can, like, they say it's a swim binder and it's made from like recycled goods and all that. So I was really hopeful for this one, and I put it on and it was too small. I might have mentioned this before, but on all of these binders for this review, I looked at the website and I remeasured myself before buying any of them and looked at their website to see the recommended size for my measurements. And this I put on. I had difficulty putting it on, first of all, which was a bad sign already. And then I couldn't breathe, and then I had difficulty taking it off, which isn't good. This was not flexible. Like, here, that has zero flexibility to it at all, which is not great if you need to breathe, if you need to get air into your lungs, sadly. All of these were, this whole experiment was disappointing, honestly. I had such high hopes for this and was so disappointed with the outcome. Like, I was expecting, when I started this journey, when I started doing this, when I came up with the idea to do a binder review, and I collected like as many binder brands as I could, and like any that like fell through, like it turned out like they weren't a thing anymore, or their brand changed to be like something else, whatever. Like, I tried to get as many as I could, and a majority of them just, I couldn't even wear. I went into this thinking originally that like I'd wear each one for like a while during my day. Like, I wasn't gonna go over the 8-hour mark. I was going to be very careful about it, and I was expecting to have to be like, oh, well, this one's nice, but this one I think personally is a little better because I like a full tank better, or because like, oh, this one kind of has more options or whatever. I was expecting to be able to wear a majority of these outside of my house. And the fact that most of these I couldn't was incredibly sad. Like, it's maddening that there's not, it's maddening that they don't fit. And here's the thing, this review is not meant to like just bash or anything. Like, this review isn't meant to be like, oh, if you wear one of these binders suck. Don't wear that. Like, don't get that. Like, it's not meant to be like, oh, this place sucks. Don't ever like listen to anyone who tells you it's good. Like, here's the thing. If it works for you, if you figured out a way to get it to work for you, like you get a size up and it doesn't kill you, then I guess, sure, like that's your thing. I'm not trying to like hate on anybody or anything like that, but I was severely disappointed with the fact that I used the sizing charts on these websites and they were wrong. Either they were wrong or these binders are made just poorly. And it's really fucking sad. The two that were the good binders that like I would actually wear again are LGBT Unicorn, which was pretty easy to find. I found that on Amazon actually, which was funny. I was not expecting an Amazon binder to do that well at all. And then Tomscout. Tomscout was my favorite out of all of these. Tomscout was absolutely perfect. Like it binds well, but it almost feels like it doesn't bind while you're in it, because you're like in it and like it doesn't feel like it's doing anything because it's that just comfortable. But then like you look and it is flattening, and it's like, wow, huh, it doesn't feel like it's doing that, but I can see it's doing that. But yeah, there's not enough good ones. Make better binders. Make binders that work. Make your sizing charts work. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to all my stupid rambling whatever. You're probably off the video already. Stay safe. Enjoy yourself. Stay tasty.